The 2022 UC football season has been amazing.
Hey, that's how we set them up. Pound, 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 pound. Nail 'em. Good job.
Tune into the selection show on October 10th at 6 p.m. to see your road to the Ute Conference Championship.
We are now video casting along with podcasting, so you can hear us, you can see us, you can talk to us.
Sound like a TV show.
We will be talking about the Coaches Roundtable.
And I see half of the game here, half of the game there, because I want to get eyes on these teams that we're ranking. Welcome in, John. It's that time of year, man. Yeah, no kidding. Did you get any sleep last night?
No.
Nope.
No sleep.
You know, I went down to the BYU Notre Dame game. And yesterday on the way back, John and I were on the phone the majority of the trip back. You know, and then last night, I don't think either one of us slept very much. You ready? You've been posting about this show.
Yeah.
So, welcome in to our Selection Show 2022. Jeff Gorange, I'm the host of the Ute Conference Extra Point podcast, and John Maverick Halliburton, Maverick, he's even got his aviator hat on.
Yep.
Where's
Team pride.
Goose?
Goose?
Yeah.
Still in
never
the
mind.
ocean.
Never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got fame here with us. Tony Parks here to do our third annual selection show. Tony.
Dude, it is
Good
so
to
great
have
to be
you,
back.
man.
Are you kidding me? Selection Monday. This thing has just continued to build bigger and bigger. And the first time we had a chance to do this, it was during the COVID year, 2020.
And it was kind of an impromptu type
Yeah.
setup. But we brought people in, and it was like crazy. And it's growing. And you guys out there that are having parties tonight, post your parties. Let's have some fun with this, you know, because that's what this is about.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's getting a scholarship, Tony. Nobody is going to go to the pros next week. This is about kids learning to love to play the game of football. And we've had an exceptional year on many, many fronts. We've grown. 429 teams.
Yeah.
8,300 players. You know, right now, Tony, we've played 1,712 football games.
Not a Saturday that goes by that has an empty space of grass without a football game being played. And that, to me, is a great Saturday.
But a few empty fields with empty referees. We need some referees. But parents, we need your help. We need your help. Referees, we're going to remind you several times throughout this show, referees aren't perfect. Sometimes they're not good. But sometimes they're great. We just don't like the answers we hear when that little yellow hanky comes flying out and they go, holding!
You pointed at me like it was my fault, and it probably was, actually. I got called for a few penalties back in the day. There's no doubt. We're playing Ute Conference football. No, but you're right. This is a really special time of the year. This is the real fun that kind of gets started here before then you end up with the high school football playoffs, and then after that you have the big college football late season games and conference championships. But like when you get into the real fun of postseason play and all the excitement that goes into each and every single game, this is where it really gets started right here.
Oh, man. Tony Parks. The man, the myth, the legend right
Just
here. Myth. You know, I heard you were related to Lou Holtz.
That's what they say. I'll tell you something right now, Badgers and Wolverines. We're going to talk about everything. I can't believe we're here. This is absolutely fantastic. Ute Conference football, everybody.
If you haven't noticed or you haven't tuned in, Thursday nights, Friday nights, high school football. We've had a lot of fun showing the clips.
Yeah, we really have. So, Lemma, Dave Fox, myself, Frank Dolce, we love the broadcast of different things and showcasing great talent in this state. And there's amazing talent in this state with high school football. We've talked about it for so many years. What's so cool is, hey, where does that start? Where does that build? How does that begin? And youth conference football has been a staple for so many people in their young lives. Myself, I know, a guy that I had played against actually in youth conference levels at Hunter was John Madsen, who went on to the NFL. I mean, guys who talked about it, from Steve Tate, Riley Jensen, all these guys have had these conversations about playing youth conference football. So now when we look at how great the product is at the high school level, we get to show where it comes from. And I also love to go back to earlier weeks and show some of these great young players putting on a show.
John, where would we be without our sponsors?
They're fabulous.
They're fabulous. Siegfried and Jensen, we thank you. Injury lawyers for over 50 years, 30 years here in the state of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
A great sponsor for the Ute Conference. Arby's, over the years, Tony, they have sponsored probably $50,000 worth of kids playing football.
That's cool.
Just
really,
Arby's.
really cool.
And Riley Jensen and Associates, the RJ Group, man, they have helped us out with a funny story. Sorry, Riley. I'm up at Skyline.
Uh-oh.
He says, I had to go watch my own coach's video a couple times. Learned how to take some deep breaths. I can't imagine Riley getting excited, can you?
No, not at all. Doesn't get fired up, not a lot of energy. No, I love it. But all kidding aside, no, Riley has done great things for businesses out there. Great stuff for different athletic teams, individual athletes who have all spoken very highly about his work and his impact. And so great to see that with you, conference football.
Okay, a big reminder. Your kids are just kids. They're going to make mistakes. They're gonna reel in the glory, but they're going to make a mistake or two. It's okay. It's just a game. Don't live your life through this game. Have fun. The biggest thing the kids look forward is the treats. Coaches are volunteers, and I can't emphasize that enough. They are out there busting their tails for the benefit of your kid. Mm-hmm. They're not against your young man, okay? Sometimes they have to pull them off the field and make a correction or two. That's coaching. Officials are human. They're going to make mistakes. So please, just back off just a little bit. And oh, by the way, nobody is getting a college scholarship. Not on this field.
No, not quite on that one. Later on, maybe.
So let's have some fun. Let's enjoy this. These kids deserve to have fun. The next thing we got to talk about really quick here is your enrollment fee to play football doesn't cover the playoffs. And there's a lot of costs that go into making this happen. So $5, ages 11 and up. Please don't hassle the district boards. They're using this money, one, as a fundraiser, but they're paying for all the costs. The referees, the trainers, the police officers. Help them make this a successful event. And no, you can't go from one field to the next and just get in. It's a $5 fee each time you go. We're sorry, parents, but it's a fundraiser. And so we just want to emphasize that a little bit. Well, are we ready?
I'm ready to go. Man, I'm ready to see these brackets. I know everybody, you back there at home. A lot of watch parties that are out there today. I got some text messages from coaches that said, we're going to have a big group. Let's do this. Let's go.
We are getting texted. Who are we playing? Who are we playing? And we haven't spilled the beans yet. Okay.
I've been getting hit up all day long.
If you want to know what's going on in the Ute Conference, the weekly Extra Point podcast. John and I, we have people like yourself and other people throughout the year. It's a great thing, but a lot of information is distributed in those podcasts.
Yeah.
So, let's hit this. You
Let's
ready?
go.
All right, Tony.
Let's rock and roll.
It's yours.
All right, we start off with the Mountain Bowl Championship, the Gridiron Division, the Tooele Buffaloes. They stand as the #1 seed. They'll have the bye. They'll wait the winner of Mountain Ridge and Cypress. Now, another Mountain Ridge team that happens to be right there. So Mountain Ridge and Cypress, it's Mountain Ridge Silver against Cypress White. Then it's Mountain Ridge Gray against Brighton White. And then there with the 3 and 6 matchup, you'll have Grantsville against Copper Hill. So that's it for the Mountain Bowl Championship with the Gridiron Division. We then move on In the Continental Bowl Championship, the Mighty Mites, Copper Hills ends up with the bye. Copper Hills White with a great season. They'll play the winner of Cypress White and Alta White. And then Grantsville White, Corner Canyon White, they meet up with the Whites of Cedar Valley and West Jordan. That's all coming up for the Continental Bowl Championship Mighty Mite Division. For the Gridiron Division, it is Park City. How about Park City? They end up with the bye. They'll move on to the semifinals, but they will play the winner of Cedar Valley and Murray. It'll be Viewmont squaring up with Clearfield, and in that 3-6 matchup, you have Harriman against the Wasp of Wasatch. That's it for the Gridiron Division for the Continental Bowl Championship. Sticking with the Continental Bowl, the Bantams. It starts with Corner Canyon Gray. They have the bye. They move on to the semifinals. Wasatch and Park City, they'll square up, and the winner of that will square up with the Chargers of Corner Canyon. Stansbury, Copper Hills, you're meeting up, coming up this week for that 2-7 matchup. Skyline and Westlake. The winners of that game will face the winner of Stansbury and Copper Hill. So great matchups right there for the Bantam Division in the Continental Bowl Championships. Another reminder for those of you who are out there. Look, I'm a big dog guy. I'm the biggest dog guy ever. I love my dog.
I love my dog.
And my dog loves to play football. She runs routes. I throw her passes. She has a terrible quarterback. I'm telling you, she has the worst quarterback ever. But she can make some great catches. We all love dogs. Your dog has to be left at home. We know that you want to film the game. We know you want to get a better view, better angle, and it's a little bit tougher at field level. We all understand your passion. The ladders cannot be brought on the facility as well.
Yeah, it's a risk and a liability. And, you know, dogs, we had a dog bite earlier in the year. Just leave them home. We love dogs, but leave them home. You know, these will all be gated off because there's admission fees to get in. You will not be allowed. Don't argue with the district. Please don't argue with the district. Tell your family, friends, and neighbors, because there's a lot that will come out to these games. Beautiful weather right now. Maybe a little too hot.
Warmer than we thought.
Yeah, but
with that being said, service dogs, for those who need to know,
dogs,
they
absolutely
will be allowed. Yeah. So just to give you the heads up on that. Now we move on to the Wolverine Bowl Championship, the Scout Division. Now you're noticing that the first round matchups, those are not there. That's because there are 4 qualifiers. So it already starts with the semifinals. So essentially every single team gets a bye for this week.
In this round, these 4 teams will not play this Saturday. They will play the following Saturday on 10/22.
So you end up with Cedar Valley and Grantsville, and then how about this matchup there in the 2-3? Cypress against Tooele. Should be awesome semifinals.
Those are almost neighbors.
And a great championship game. Yeah, you have way out west, and then you also have one team way out west against Cedar Valley. So there you go for the Scout Division there. The Pee-wees, the Wolverine Bowl Pee-wee Division. Skyline, watch out for them. The Eagles, they're flying high this year. They've got that bye, and they're going to move on to the semifinals, but they're going to play the winner out of Hillcrest and West Jordan. The Buffaloes at Tooele going up against Cedar Valley in the 2-7, and watch out for those Pokes, the Grantsville Cowboys, against Copper Hills in the 3-6. We move on now to the Mighty Mike Division, where it was Mountain Ridge, the Sentinels, who had an outstanding year, and they stand as the #1 seed. They will not play this week, but they'll have an eye on that game between Riverton and Viewmont in the 2-7 battle. The Highland Rams square up with the Wasatch Wasps, and Cedar Valley Black goes toe-to-toes there with Farmington White. Then for the Wolverine Bowl Championship of the Gridiron Division, Riverton will square up. Well, rather, they have the bye. There is no team called BYE, but if there was, let's just say they're a first round out. No, but Riverton will move on to the semifinals. It'll be Alta and Fremont. I always love that when you have a team, you know, like maybe a team way up north, Plains City there, going up against a team there in the Draper area. That's going to be a blast. And then you have Skyline and Olympus. The battle for the rock, why not have it happen right there in the playoffs? No better place for that to take place.
7th graders playing for the rock right now.
That pride and that passion builds from a very young age. I've known Steve Tate a long time. He talks about that quite a bit. That builds from a very young age, so great to see it happen there. And then Corner Canyon and Farmington in the 3-6. Now to the Bantams, Bingham and Hillcrest. They are your 1-8. It'll be Brighton against Woods Cross for the 4-5. And then those 2-7, 3-6s are going to be fun. Farmington and Cedar Valley. And then you have the Murray Spartans, the 6 seed, going up against the Mountain Ridge Sentinels in that 3-6 battle. So the Wolverine Bowl, that is where those brackets happen to be. Should be a really, really fun weekend and a series of weekends coming up from the first round to the championships. We've given you the reminders. These are kids. Referees are human. Coaches are human too, by the way. They may make mistakes, and they're doing the very, very best they can. They're volunteers on top of that. So we appreciate you being very good sports while attending the games. The Trailblazer Bowl. The Tooele Buffaloes and the Wasatch Wasps for the 1-8. Westlake goes up against South Summit in that 4-5 battle. The Soaring Eagle of Juan Diego, they're the 2 seed, and they face the Bingham Miners, the number 7 seed. And it's the Northridge Knights against the Taylorsville Warriors for the Trailblazer Bowl of the Scout Division. Moving on now to the Gremlin Division. As you can see, nobody there playing this weekend. So this weekend, no games. But coming up a week from Saturday, Harriman and Skyline for that 1-4, and it's Grantsville and Tooele there for the 2-3 matchup. And as always, should be a lot of fun with the Gremlin Division of the Trailblazer Bowl. The Pee Wee Division, how about this? Cedar Valley Black, that is, with a bye as they end up moving on to the second round. Bingham and Stansbury for that 4-5 should be a lot of fun. The Alta Hawks and Corner Canyon. This is one of the newer rivalries, if you would say. If you look back to the history, this is not as long as the Rock, but it's a great rivalry. The neighborhood kind of rivals there with Alta and Corner Canyon. Olympus and Cypress for the 3-6. Now for the Trailblazer Bowl Championship, the Mighty Mike Division, the Mountain Ridge Gray, the Sentinels, the bye week there. And there were some Mountain Ridge teams, by the way, who were fabulous in all different age groups. They've had a very, very good year.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Absolutely.
good year. Harriman and Olympus, that 4-5. It'll be Wasatch White against Park City White for the 2-7. And then Farmington Black and Brighton Black. And you know it's been a great year with attendance. And you know it's been a great year with participation. When you have all these different teams and you have to have gray and white and black and all the different.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
is tremendous to see how many great teams we've had out there this year. The Gridiron Division for the Trailblazer Bowl goes as follows. Another Mountain Ridge team at the top. Copper Hills and Taylorsville in that 4-5 for a West Side battle. Northridge and Highland in the 2-7. And Alta will host Syracuse coming up in the 3-6. That's now for the Bantam Division. We move on. Riverton. How about Riverton Gray? They've had a great year. They square up with Cypress White. It'll be Alta going up against Northridge in the 4-5. Grantsville and Corner Canyon in that 2-7 battle. And in the 3-6, you have the Olympus Titans and the Wasatch Wasps.
Hey, football fun starts with Ute Conference, Utah's Youth Football League. Woods Cross taking on Skyline. Oh, look at.
Get the
Jacob,
pylon.
oh, wait, this is a Woods Cross. I'm sorry, this is Riley's kid.
Is that
Yeah,
Jack?
sorry, that's Jack
Go, Jack.
Jensen, the sweep for the
That's
touchdown.
my guy right there. I got him.
Go.
My fantasy
about
points
that?
right there.
Check out this little scoop and score coming up from Johnny Chipman.
Let's go, Johnny.
And Skyline handles Olympus 31-7. Football fun starts with the Ute Conference, Utah's Youth Football League. There's Jack.
Come on, Jack. Take it in. Take it to the house. Oh, my goodness. You see that cutback? Man.
Remember, there's going to be fees, $5 and up for 11 years old and older. Your youngsters, 10 and under, they get in free.
All right, moving on to the Badger Bowl tournament, the Scout Division, the Olympus Titans at the top. Corner Canyon will be their first round opponent. Mountain Ridge and Stansbury for a great 4-5 matchup takes place in the first round. Harriman and Skyline happen to be that 2-7. And in the 3-6 battle, it'll be Copper Hills against Mountain Ridge. Now, the Mountain Ridge Gray happens to be the 4 seed, and the Mountain Ridge Gray 7 seed. I'm sorry, let's go back real quick. I apologize. Mountain Ridge Silver is your 6 for the Scout Division. Mountain Ridge Gray is your 4. So just to make absolute certain, be 100% certain on which seed you are and who you have.
So in the Scout Division, Mountain Ridge Gray is playing Stansbury, and Mountain Ridge Silver is playing Copper Hills.
There you go. Just to make absolute certain we nail those down so you know
And
who
we'll
your
be
opponent
posting
is.
all these brackets out on our social media and our website so that everybody can view it. And hopefully by tomorrow morning, we'll have the entire schedule. Now, game times and locations are not created yet. We will be finishing that throughout the night. Tonight, another long night. And so...
Okay, sounds good. All right, so on from the Scout Division, we move to the Gremlins, where Mountain Ridge, Mountain Ridge White,
they got a lot of kids.
ends up being the #1 seed, and they have Cedar Valley for that first round. Bingham and Stansbury in the 4-5. Copper Hills against Mountain Ridge Gray for the 2-7, and it's Riverton and Corner Canyon there for that 3-6 battle for the Gremlin Division of the Badger Bowl tournament. Now we move on to the Pee Wee division, where you see Brighton has the bye, a terrific season for them, and they've moved on to the semifinals. But they're going to play the winner that happens to come out of the battle between Mountain Ridge and Riverton. And then the 2-7, it is South Summit against Wasatch, the Riverton Silver Wolves, and the Harriman Mustangs, in one of the better rivalries that you'll find in all across the state. Taylorsville, the #1 seed of the Mighty Mike division. They have the bye here to get started for this week, but they'll await the winner of Northridge and Hillcrest. It's East and Tooele for that 2-7 with Skyline, the Eagles, against the Northridge Knights. And hey, in the early 2000s there, boy, did they have some great championship games at the high school level. So anytime you see those, you happen to think of the names like Daniel Coates.
And
you
at
think of
Farmington
names
High
like
School now.
Steve Tate and Mitch Reed and all these great names. Corey Hankey. Chase McCormick, quarterback as well. Boy, these were some fun times. But Skyline Northridge, they battle up for that 3-6 matchup. And so that's it for that division. Now the Gridiron division for the Badger Bowl. You have Hillcrest, who will sit out this week. That's because they moved on to the semifinals in what should be a great battle between Miners, Park City, and Bingham for that 4-5. Westlake will square up against Brighton in the first round matchup. They'll play the winner of the Soaring Eagle of Juan Diego against the Riverton Silver Wolves. So that's for the Gridiron division for the Badger Bowl tournament. Now moving on to the Bantam division. Harriman and Clearfield squaring up for the first round, and they will play the winner of Bountiful and Copper Hills. It's Riverton and Juan Diego for that 2-7. And then the Ogden Tigers, they're the #3 seed, and they go up against the Tooele Buffaloes, the #6 seed. Reminders once again, we've talked about that with sportsmanship being so critical, but we also move on to the Thunderbird Bowl tournament, where the Scout division has Skyline sitting at the top as the #1 against Riverton. Farmington and Granger in that 4-5. Copper Hills and Kearns in a West Side battle in the 2-7, and it's West Jordan against Brighton for the 3-6. So interesting second round matchups because they could very well happen throughout the course of that. But those first round battles, especially all that happen to be lined up in that division, are going to be a lot of fun. Thunderbolt tournament, Scout division, or rather Gremlin division. Taylorsville West for the first round. Wasatch and Northridge are going to go toes there in the 4-5. It'll be Alta and Cypress squaring up in the 2-7. Kearns and Westlake for that 3-6 battle. So we'll see who happens to come out of that and down the line in what should be a fun
Let's go back up
division.
to the Wasatch.
Yeah.
That's the Northridge LCA team.
Okay.
So we have two teams in that division
All
up
right.
there. One at Northridge High, and then the Layton Christian Academy has a Northridge team also.
Well, that's great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so they're
So
in the
they form together for Wasatch.
Yeah. So they will play Wasatch.
Well, that's
That
awesome.
is the LCA team.
Northridge LCA. Well, great to have Northridge LCA involved. Layton Christian Academy. I know a lot of great coaches that have happened to be there through the years and currently as well for different sports, basketball, football, you name it. Thunderbird Bowl tournament. The Pee Wee division, Riverton has the bye, and the first round matchup that's there in the 4-5 is East against Corner Canyon. Now, the first round matchups that happen to be there on the bottom part of the bracket, Woods Cross against Mountain Ridge. They'll play the winner of Juan Diego and Copper Hills. Now moving on to the Mighty Mike division, the Wasatch Wasps. What a great season for them, and that has earned them a first-round bye. So they move on to the semifinals. They are going to have all their eyes on that Olympus-Bingham matchup, which is coming your way this weekend. It'll be Olympus and Bingham, and then on the other side of the bracket, Riverton and Bingham. So just to clarify real quickly, Olympus and Bingham Gray play in the 4-5. it'll be Riverton and Bingham White for the 2-7. You see those details that are there on the bracket. Once again, all of this will be on the website, and all of this will be on social media pages to confirm
So
if
it'll
there's
be
any
Riverton
confusion.
Gray versus Bingham White, and Olympus Black versus Bingham Gray.
And so there you have it for that. So be absolute certain. Make sure to check the website as well. Corner Canyon, Stansbury, round things up for the Mighty Mike
Corner
division.
Canyon Black and Stansbury White.
Oh, man.
So there's a lot of teams you can see in all these divisions. And
It's awesome. It's awesome to have this many teams playing. So that's the Thunderbird Bowl for the Mighty Mike division. Now we move on to the Gridiron division. Cedar Valley standing up top, the #1 seed. Cedar Valley Black, they will wait the winner of Riverton White and West Jordan. Stansbury White and Corner Canyon Gray, you have a meeting coming up on Saturday, and so does Bingham and Skyline. The winners of those two games will meet up in the semifinals. We go to the Bantam division for the Thunderbird Bowl tournament. Riverton, Highland in the 1-8. They'll play the winner of Park City and Bingham. It's Cedar Valley as the #2 seed. They've had a very, very good year, so they will end up playing Taylorsville in that 2-7. Harriman and Syracuse for the #3, #6 matchup. Reminder once again, I've talked about it before, I love dogs, absolutely love them. When you come to the tournaments, there's going to be a $5 fee. It is going to be gated off. The other part about this too, we love your dogs, we know you love your dogs, but dogs are not allowed, with the exception of a service dog, this weekend and throughout the course of the tournament.
in the tournaments.
Same thing with ladders, things like that, to try to hoist yourself up. That's a liability issue that they're trying to keep an eye on.
Football fun starts with Ute Conference. Football fun, Utah's Youth Football League. This is Alta taking on Riverton.
Let's go, Hawks.
Check out, quarterback keeper. Oh, he's got the edge, guys. He's cutting upfield. Oh, this looks good. I think this is going to be a touchdown, and it is. This is this past Saturday. How about that? Check out the Extra Point podcast while you're at it, by the way. Here they come again, the other side.
About halfway home here for taking a look at all the different tournaments and the brackets that are being released here today. Thanks again for joining us for Selection Monday. Always a lot of fun, and we move on to the Wildcat Bowl tournament, the Scout division, where it's Clearfield and Alta in that first round. The winner there will go up against Orem and Bountiful. Now, Syracuse and Harriman square up in that 2-7, and it's going to be Fremont and Murray at the bottom part of that bracket for the first round of the Scout division.
So please pay attention. There's a couple whites and a couple black teams in there. Again, everything will be out on the website. Everything will be out on social media. We've said it a couple times, but, somebody's going to go, oh, my gosh, Tony said we're playing Harriman.
But yeah,
what about the black or the white team?
Make sure, and you see it on the indication there on these brackets as well. So you'll be able to identify, which team is yours and make sure that you're at the right place. So, yeah, we don't want anybody missing out. The Gremlin division goes as follows. Syracuse, Copper Hills for the 1-8. It's Alta White against Mountain Ridge Silver. The winner of that game will play the winner out of Syracuse and Copper Hills. Farmington White is going to go up against Bingham Black. And in the 3-6 matchup, Brighton White and Olympus White. And so that rounds out your first round of matchups for the Gremlin division of the Wildcat Bowl. West has the bye for the Pee Wee division as they move on to the semifinals. They will play the winner of Syracuse and Fremont. It's going to be the Kearns Cougars against Orem for that battle of the 2-7, and Park City squares up with Murray in that 3-6 matchup for the first round of the Pee Wee division. Continuing with first round matchups in the Mighty Mike division, the Alta Hawks. Alta Black is who it happens to be. They have the bye. They move on to the second round. Syracuse White will go up against Granger. The winner of that will meet up with them in the semifinals. Then it's Riverton Black against South Summit. That is in the 2-7 matchup. And last but not least, Brighton White against the West Panthers for the 3-6. For the Gridiron division, Bountiful, Orem, 1-8. The winner of that game will face Highland against Corner Canyon Black. It'll be West and Olympus Black in that 2-7. And then at the bottom of the bracket, you see South Summit going against Harriman Black. So those are your first round matchups in the Gridiron division of the Wildcat Bowl tournament. We move on to the Bantams. Park City, the number 1 seed here for the Bantam division, goes up against Harriman Black. It'll be Mountain Ridge Black against East for that 4-5. That happens, so the winner of Park City Harriman will face the winner of Mountain Ridge and East. Then it's Corner Canyon Black, Bountiful Black, as well as Kearns against Granger for the Bantam division of the Wildcat Bowl.
All right, let's talk about something that's dear to your heart.
Very dear to my heart. I actually have Hayes Tough socks. I have Hayes Tough shirts. I have a lot of Hayes Tough gear. I actually should have just wore that here today. Very passionate about that. The Hayes Tough Foundation, Steve Tate, Savannah Tate, that family has done so much in fighting against childhood cancer.
And they have. And last year, I want to give a shout out to a little Park City team.
Mm-hmm.
They had a young lady relative on their team who passed away from cancer. But they fundraised. They came up with $1,100 for the Hayes Tough Foundation. We matched that. Total donations last year was $3,150 from the Ute Conference and its teams.
Yeah.
So, and you were part of that.
Yeah, I enjoy being a part of that. When we first put this together, you had asked, hey, you know, how do we take care of you? And all I said was, just give some money to the Hayes Tough Foundation. Whatever you want to pay me, pay that to the Hayes Tough Foundation.
So use this QR code. Get your cameras up there right now. Make a donation. We will match up to $5,000.
Awesome.
They do great things with this money. They've gone out and visited teams, brothers and sisters of kids on our teams. They've done just amazing stuff.
Connected with a lot of different people across the world. The Hayes Tough Foundation has, you know, it's one thing to give financial support, which is obvious and it's needed. Their ability to give emotional support, their ability to truly connect with families and know how to reach out to them, stay in touch with them. They're also very supportive to families after tragedy, you know, so if indeed a cancer battle has resulted in the death of a young person, they have reached out and continued to stay in connection with families because we're all in the fight together when it comes to this. And so we're all on the same team, and glad to see the Hayes Tough Foundation be such a big part of this today. So you see the QR code, you know, whether it's a couple of bucks or whether there's a comma involved, you know it, that it's always appreciated. So, and as you said,
thank you.
Yeah,
Savannah, thank you.
You guys are the absolute best. And as you said, Jeff, and very great that the Ute Conference will donate up to $5,000 in matching for all of those of you back there at home.
So we'd like nothing more than to give them a check for $10,000.
Yeah, we'd love nothing more. So please help us in that fight. And we continue on with the Aggie Bowl tournament. The Scout Division, Mountain Ridge goes up against Grantsville in that 1-8 matchup. Mountain Ridge White is the number 1 seed, where it's Copper Hills and Hunter. Great West Side battle there in the 4-5. Woods Cross the 2. Riverton Black is the 7. And then how about this? The ultimate classic. It's East versus West in the 3-6 for the first round of the Aggie Bowl tournament. I love it.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It really doesn't.
In our youngest division, the Scout Division, East and West squaring off.
The youngest division, which has to be the oldest rivalry, right?
Youngest division, oldest rivalry.
There you go. Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. Highland and Clearfield will start things off in the 1-8 for the Gremlin division here, and they'll play the winner out of South Summit and Murray. The West Jordan Jaguars are the number 2 seed, and they go up against the Woods Cross Wildcats, Skyline, and Juan Diego. So it's the Eagles and the Soaring Eagle of Juan Diego there in that first round matchup of the Gremlin division for the Aggie tournament. For the Pee-wees, Tooele gets the bye. What a great season for them. They'll move on to the semifinals. Alta Clearfield in that 4-5. That is Alta Black against Clearfield. Granger and Harriman Black for that 2-7. And then the bottom matchup that you see right there for the first round, the Farmington Phoenix against the Wasatch Wasp Black. That happens to be in that 3-6. So the Pee-wee division is set. So's the Mighty Mike division, where Murray is the number 1 seed against West Jordan. The Mountain Ridge White. There's so many good teams there at Mountain Ridge, and so many teams to mention that. They go up against the K-Town Cougars in that 4-5 battle. Cedar Valley squares up with Bingham Black. It's Harriman Black against Park City in the 3-6. For the Gridiron division, the Park City Miners, the number 1 seed, will go up against the upset-minded Woods Cross Wildcats. Farmington and Cypress go toe-to-toe there in that 4-5. It's East and Murray who will play the winner out of Granger and Bingham White. For the Bantam Division, Stansbury, the #1 seed against the Northridge Knights. Orem and Grantsville, they'll play those winners will play one another in the semifinals. Hunter against Bingham Black, and it's Viewmont and South Summit for the Bantam Division. Admission fees here, Jeff. It is not free. Now, your fees that paid for the season do not cover the tournament, but also this money is to really cover so many other things that are going to be needed.
Our costs are going up everywhere. Just like in life, our helmets are exponentially going up. Gear is going up. Field space, everything. And this helps us keep our registration fees for the following years down. So that's what we're trying to do. Please don't harass your board members. Don't harass them. They're volunteering. They're out there because they love this. $5, 11 and up.
$5, 11 and up. Not a bad fee whatsoever.
So now, coming up in this next segment, Tony, we got some highlights.
I love it.
Thursday Night Lights, Friday Night Rivals coming.
We love it each and every single time because we get to highlight some great playmakers that happen to be making plays on Saturday while we're talking on Thursday and Friday.
Hey, I'm Christian Morrison. I'm the Skyline Bantam head coach. It's my 4th year coaching. Love everything about it. It's not easy to have sustained success. It's not easy to get wins. I think it's really important to celebrate your successes and to learn from your mistakes. Oh, go, 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 baby, go, all the way, woo!
I play because it's fun. I just enjoy the sport, and I get to play with my friends and get to hit people. Even if you're like not the greatest your first year, you'll get better. I wasn't that good. Just keep trying, keep playing.
My name is Jaron Taylor. I'm assistant coach with the Skyline Bantam football team. Let's go, D. Let's get this. I probably get more out of the boys that aren't my sons, because you know how your kids don't listen to you. But I get to be a mentor towards a whole big group of great kids that I learn a lot from. Get to spend more time around my sons in the process. They pick up a lot of friends. I think all in all, it's just a great team building sport.
It's taught me to be disciplined. Like this year, I was trying not to be an X, and I had to be very disciplined to do that. And you have to be disciplined in football with like the practice schedule and all the work that you have to do. Some advice I have is probably to work on the basics, like just blocking, getting that perfected until you can like start moving up and doing kick steps and stuff like that.
I think the biggest thing I want the kids to know is that they're capable of doing hard things. A lot of parents, a lot of kids, the world right now is a little scared of football, but these boys are capable of more than they realize. I want them to know that they can do things and succeed in situations that they thought they couldn't succeed in. They're capable of a lot, and I think football helps to show them what they're capable of and doing hard things.
All right, for the Cougar Bowl tournament, that's about to get underway this weekend. The Scout Division, the Highland Rams, your #1 seed, and they square up with Hillcrest as the Huskies are hoping to have some upset in the making coming up this week.
We anticipate a lot of upsets.
Do you?
Oh, these teams are slotted so closely. Anybody can beat anybody.
Okay.
In any division.
Well, any given Saturday, we definitely know that. We definitely know that. But you're saying this is not as big an upset as many would perceive.
No, because they're so closely slotted.
Okay. All right. No, I love the way that you've done this, because for somebody like me, I'm not around it every single day like you are. So I see a 1-8 and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this #8 seed's trying to pull an upset. But these teams are a lot closer together than people may realize. So it's going to make it even more exciting.
There's a lot of calculations and a lot of work. People don't understand. We rank every team. We look at their strength of schedule. We look at how many points they're averaging on the defensive side. How many are they giving up? How many are they scoring? And it's not just about the old way of looking at statistics of
wins
win
and losses.
losses.
Yeah.
Wins and losses. You could be 4-4 and still be in a top tier because who did you play? Your strength of schedule was extremely difficult, and you lost those games real close.
So that's how that could play this out.
Absolutely.
Where these games, all right, a lot of parity.
Wins and losses are not the determining factor for how these guys are in these seeds.
I like it. So 1-8, Highland, Hillcrest. These upsets you consider mild upsets compared to most others, and that's the way it's laid out there. Corner Canyon Black against Bingham Black in the 4-5. Farmington and Granger, that's another first-round matchup there, and the winner there happens to play the winner of Kearns and Mountain Ridge Black. Cougar Bowl Gremlin Division. Fremont, Viewmont, they start things off in that 1-8 battle. They'll play the winner of Tooele and Granger. It's Park City and Bountiful there for the 2-7, and it's Cedar Valley against Hunter to round things up for that Gremlin Division. Still staying with the Cougar Bowl tournament, but now the Pee Wee Division. Wasatch, the #1 seed, against the #8 Farmington White, and it's Bountiful and Cypress in what should be a great 4-5 matchup. Riverton Black goes up against Bingham Black, and it's Alta and Hunter in that 3-6 battle for the Pee Wee Division. Cougar Bowl Tournament Mighty Mike Division. Viewmont and Clearfield. Love it when you get some of these current or former Region 1 classics that happen to be there. Grantsville and Bountiful, they'll play the winner out of Viewmont and Clearfield. It's Hunter and Woods Cross in that 2-7 square up, and Mountain Ridge Black against Orem will round things up for the Mighty Mike Division. Moving on now to the Gridiron Division, where Mountain Ridge Black has the #1 seed. They go up against Bingham Black, Fremont, and Copper Hills. They match up in that first round. It'll be Skyline against the Riverton Silverwolves Black, and it's Wasatch against the K-Town Cougars in the 3-6.
You talk about parity. Mountain Ridge Black is the #1 seed. Bingham Black is the #8 seed. Mountain Ridge's only loss is to Bingham Black.
No way. And that's how tight this thing is. So it wouldn't even be considered an upset by many.
No.
If Bingham Black were to win. Okay. That, my friend, is parity indeed. And now to the Bantam Division. The Farmington Phoenix Black, #1 seed against Copper Hills Black as the 8. It's Weston Wasatch in the 4-5 to go with Alta Black and Skyline in the 2-7. And it all wraps up with Olympus and Cypress for the first round of the Bantam Division. We've talked about it before. We'll talk about it once again. There's a lot of stuff you want to do to get great coverage of your game, and we always appreciate that. We know you want to be filming. We know that you want to be sending it out to somewhere else.
We just want to do it safely.
We got to do it safely, and as much as you understand why someone wants to bring a ladder, they can't.
They can't. No scaffolding, no ladder, and we love dogs. But let's
I'm the biggest dog guy ever.
But let's keep them home.
Yeah. As much as I would love to take my dog out there and have her run routes and throw that football around, have to leave him at home. The Ute Bowl Tournament, Scout Division, Syracuse, the Titans, the #1 seed against the Wasatch Wasps, the #8. It's Harriman and Viewmont for the other part of that bracket up top. Then to the lower part of the bracket, Skyline and Cedar Valley in the 2-7. It's the West Jordan Jaguars and the Alta Hawks in that 3-6. So we move on to the Gremlin Division, where Grantsville, the #1 seed, faces Mountain Ridge Black. It's Orem and Riverton in the 4-5. That is Riverton Black, by the way. Bingham and Harriman Black for the 2-7. And at the bottom of that bracket, East and Corner Canyon Black. Pee Wee Division, Skyline, the #1 seed against the Grantsville Cowboys. That is your 1-8 matchup. Corner Canyon Black against Mountain Ridge Black in what should be a really great 4-5. It's the Westlake Thunder going up against the West Jordan Jaguars. And Cedar Valley faces the Viewmont Vikings in the 3-6. The Brighton Bengals for the Mighty Mike Division are your #1 seed. They go up against Riverton. Olympus toes up with Syracuse in the 4-5. Wasatch and Copper Hills will square up in that 2-7. It's Alta and Westlake to round things out for the Mighty Mike Division.
This is anybody's tournament.
Oh, yeah.
This is
really
that tight.
Where
anybody can win this tournament.
You're talking.
You think so, John?
I know so.
You're talking 4 coin flip games here.
Absolutely. They should be these are tight games. And anybody can win this tournament.
Just 4 pick'ems right down the line.
So, Brighton, you're the number 1 seed. But I'm telling you right now, watch out.
Okay. We move on. The Ute Bowl tournament to the Gridiron Division. The Olympus Titans against the Tooele Buffaloes, the Northridge Knights, and the Stansbury Stallions. And it's Riverton and Grantsville. A lot of Tooele County, by the way, represented in this bracket. And then Viewmont and Cedar Valley. So there's the possibility you could have a second-round matchup with 2 Tooele County teams. You could have a championship game. Well, with some Tooele County teams, that bracket right there, way out west, could get quite wild. All right, for the Ute Bowl tournament in the Bantam Division, the Riverton Silver Wolves and the Woods Cross Wildcats. It's Mountain Ridge squaring up with Hillcrest, Westlake, and West Jordan. And in that 3-6, it is Murray and the Alta Hawks.
Man, there's so much that football teaches about teamwork and being part of a team and helping out your brother and becoming one as a family. Man, there's just a lot. My name is Matt Dickey. I'm the head coach for Alta Black Bantam football team.
Yeah, get the ball! Let it go!
I coach football because I love the sport. I love the kids. It's something I just have a huge passion about.
My name is Cash Vargas. I play outside linebacker, DN, and fullback. I play because I love the sport. I love the contact. I got a bunch of my friends on this team. It's one of my favorite things to do.
I'm Vinny the Beast Mo, running back and DN for Alta Black. For me, success is being able to win with my team of brothers that I've built over the years. The best part about practice is probably just being with all my brothers and just being able to hit people. Yeah.
My name is Marquilo Allen. I play right tackle, defensive tackle, and I'm Alta Black. I play youth conference football because what other football I don't play, you know? It's youth conference, gotta be here. A life lesson football has taught me is, always bounce back. Any situation you're in, you can always, get back up from it. You can never stay in the same place you are.
My name's Nick Vigas, coach line and defense coordinator.
Shake it up, man. It's no big deal. Let's go. Let's stop them.
For me, in my own business, I use a lot of the work ethic, the discipline, the things that we teach out here carries into everyday life. And I also am a firm believer that, kids that understand what a team is, they work better with people later on in life, and they have goals and they achieve them. And as adults, that's what life's about.
All right, they're playing for something big. All sights are set on one glittering goal, the chance to play and win in the Ute Conference Championship Bowl. No, the Super Bowl, as John Facenda would say it. And we don't have the Lombardi Trophy here, but we do have a very big deal that's in the studio.
Yeah, these trophies, we can't get them anymore. The NFL, resins, supply chain, so we're going to be playing for rings this year. But we're going to memorialize these trophies and make them like the Stanley Cup. And we're going to put them on a base, and we're going to engrave each team.
All right.
We'll start 2020 going forward. And so you will be in our champions locker out there forever. And so it's a nice thing. But now, everybody's playing for a ring. All of you bowl champions, you're getting a ring. It's just going to look a little different than the Ute Conference Championship.
Okay.
But you're playing for a ring, you're playing for something, you're playing for your brothers. It's going to be fun. But this is the top 8 teams in the Ute Conference in each division.
And here's how it lays out.
And some of those divisions have 80 teams in them.
That's insane. 80 teams?
80 teams.
In a division.
And these are the top 8.
Okay.
So here's how it lays out. So another thing we're going to do this year, all the championship games, whether it's a bowl championship game on the 29th of October or the November 5th U Conference Championship, they're all going to be played on high school fields this year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So
that's really great.
It's a good thing. It's going to be good for the kids. It's going to be fun.
Well, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see it. We are still a little ways away from that because we have first-round matchups to talk about here. And as he talked about, the championship games will be on high school fields for this division, or for this
for all of them. Everybody, all the championship games.
And that is so special because I'll tell you, many of them have never done that yet. And for them to have the chance to do that.
So last year, our bowl championships, we had 3 sites. And we'd have 4 or 5 fields going on in the regular parks.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we're going to have each one, the Trailblazer, the Thunderbird, the Badger. They're going to all be at one high school, for that whole bowl. So everyone we've announced will be playing up to 6 games that day.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and you get a chance to play there. The stand should be packed, obviously, for those days, too, with a lot of people in attendance. So it's going to be a special experience for the kids and for the parents, everybody involved.
But this next series, this is the Ute Conference Championship Series.
And it starts with the Scout Division, and it starts with the #1 seed, the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. They have a date with the Olympus Titans in a first-round matchup. The winner of that will play the winner of the Stansbury Stallions and the Corner Canyon Chargers. Now, when moving on to the other part of the bracket, Riverton and Bingham. Love that matchup. Love that rivalry. One of the current best in the state. And it's the Brighton Bengals against the Cypress Pirates there to round things up for the Scout Division. That's how it lays out. For the Gremlin Division, the Stansbury Stallions, your #1 seed, with the Corner Canyon Chargers at the #8. Olympus and Brighton, they square up there for the other part. So the winner of Olympus Brighton will face the winner of Stansbury and Corner Canyon. It's going to be Mountain Ridge and Riverton, in that 2-7, and it's Harriman and Farmington in the 3-6. So a lot of fun set up for the Gremlin Division. For the Pee-wees, the Corner Canyon Chargers against the Copper Hills Grizzlies in the 1-8. It's Stansbury and Olympus for the other first-round matchup there on that side of the bracket. On the other side, the Mountain Ridge Sentinels against the Harriman Mustangs and the Bingham Miners and Riverton Silver Wolves. Those two, by the way, meet up this week on Friday Night Rivals. So that's going to make it even more fun for these guys to be meeting up for the Pee-wee division of Ute Conference Championship football. Better believe it. Mighty Mite division, Stansbury, Harriman, first-round matchup. Cypress, Corner Canyon, also in the first round. The winner of Bingham and Farmington will face up with the winner of Mountain Ridge and Fremont for the Mighty Mite division here for this Gridiron Classic on Selection Monday. As we roll on with the Ute Conference Championship level Gridiron Division, Mountain Ridge and Hunter for the 1-8, Syracuse and Harriman. They'll play the winner out of that battle. The Brighton Alta matchup, and the winner of that will play the winner of Bingham against Corner Canyon. So it should be fun for the Gridiron Division as well. We remind you, as always, as we move on to Bantam Division, $5 entry fee. Leave your dog at home, leave your ladders at home. All of that stuff and more, we'll continue to talk about that. The Corner Canyon Chargers, they're the #1 seed. They face up against the Harriman Mustangs. It's the Bountiful Braves and the Copper Hills Grizzlies in the 4-5. Farmington against Clearfield in that first-round matchup. They will play the winner of Brighton and Bingham.
So, great matchups here. Great matchups. Farmington lost to Clearfield in the first game of the season.
Okay.
So that rematch, okay? Corner Canyon's the defending champion. They sat right at this table at Media Day and says, we will repeat. They haven't lost this year. So we've got some great battles going on.
Corner Canyon on a mission, rematch
Hills
and revenge.
Bountiful.
Yeah.
That's going to be in Brighton, Bingham. Brighton played in the championship last year against Corner Canyon. They lost a lot of kids to the high school this year, and they're still in that #3 seed. So some great coaching that's gone on there.
Oh, man. So the Bantam Division with Ute Conference Championship, you have your there's got to be a favorite. I mean, they're the defending champions. They're undefeated. But nothing's a guarantee there whatsoever.
No,
it's going to be quite a battle.
I'm right now, Farmington's peaking at the right time.
Okay.
They're coming in hot and they're coming in strong.
And it's going to be a great tournament with the Bantam division for the Ute Conference Championship. Reminders as always, this is a game. These are kids. Referees are human. We appreciate all the support and we love your passion, but always make sure that it doesn't cross the line. We all know when it does cross the line. It's usually pretty evident. And your coach.
Well, the penalties are severe. If you're a parent, you get ejected, your kid's going with you. That doesn't help, but we've had to do that to kind of temper expectations and control emotions.
Yeah, and the other thing, no college scholarships handed out today. So this is a wonderful part of the growth and experience. This isn't the end of the road by any means whatsoever. And yes, be very supportive to all the different board members who will be up at 6 a.m., setting up, tearing down, all the organizing, the emails, the phone calls, the text messages. They've put in a ton of work all season, so big thanks to them.
Our sponsors, you guys are awesome. Thank you. We appreciate all that you've done for the Ute Conference.
Yeah, over 30 years, by the way. Siegfried and Jensen has been serving this local area, but they've been in business longer than that, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Ned
and Mitch, they're old.
They're
real old.
I remember the commercials from a long time ago. But no, the wonderful people and great to have them on board. And then also with Arby's, let's not forget how good an Arby's melt is, okay? That's a go-to. If you need to swing through that drive-through, that's absolutely
And I'm missing
where
that
I go.
5 for 5. Am I showing my age?
Okay, yeah, the 5 for 5. I missed the Big Montana. If you want to get that, that was my favorite sandwich there. And so you can still have a Big Montana. You just gotta get a few more sandwiches to create your own Big Montana.
Riley Jensen.
Riley Jensen
Few
Consulting.
deep breaths this weekend. I know how you do it.
With this playoff stuff. Riley always has a great message. Follow him also on different forms of social media. Great messages that happen to be out there. Check them out for your business or for your sports team. Whatever the situation might be, he can really help them kind of take everything to the next level with great implementation of great skills when it comes to understanding just different levels of how you build yourself psychologically through a team, through trust, through great influence. I mean, it is remarkable the depth of knowledge and the great work that his entire team does.
Absolutely. And Dave Fox, Alema Harrington, Frank Dolce, and Tony Parks. We love you guys. Awesome work this year.
It's been
I've
fun.
watched the majority of your games, and you've had some good games, and you've had some not so good games.
That's the way it always goes, man. Yeah, with the
Come on,
schedule.
Fox, you got to pick them better.
No, and there's times, the fun part is sometimes you're like, man, we have a great game tonight. And then you have a running clock, and you're like, well, that's how it goes. And there's sometimes you walk into a game where you're like, well, we thought this might be good initially, and then this injury or that or this, and you never know. And it turns out to be a classic. So here's what we do know. At the end of the regular season coming, the playoffs are coming up for us too. And with all of that going on, you better believe it's going to be spectacular. It always is.
Tony Parks, thank you for being with us.
Always a pleasure, man.
Thank you for doing this.
This is one of my favorite things I do every year. Selection Monday. We called it that. It came together. If people knew the story behind the story of how all this just came together in one quick back and forth phone call, it's been
Came
special.
together in less than a week. The whole thing. Back in COVID 2020 when we weren't supposed to get together. And now look at it. Maverick, did you hear your team's name called?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
Huh?
I heard him.
Are you in the division you want to be in?
No,
No. Where do you want to be?
number one.
We're in Jersey.
We got a
with
lot
number
of
one
work
on
to
it,
do.
So you can be number one.
We'll come back next year strong.
So you're down a division or two than you wanted to be. All right, you heard it from the coach.
We'll get there.
Tune in to the Extra Point podcast. We thank Tony Parks, John Halliburton. This is Jeff Orange, and we're out.
This conversation is now over.